morning, everyone. Welcome to Advisory. This is the third part of our routines lesson. So we talked about being in a tug of war every day for your time, money, and energy. And so your instant zone will never stop pulling at you. Okay. So stay aware of which zone you're in. Okay, there's that mindfulness part. And you could win this tug of war. So when you get home from school and you want a snack, you can tell yourself, I'm going to choose the lasting zone by eating a juicy apple instead of this bag of potato chips, right? That's an example of something you could do. After playing video games for an hour, you can tell yourself that it's time to move into lasting zone. So you're giving yourself a little bit of that downtime, but you're recognizing that maybe an hour is enough and you can move on to something. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit more about how to keep yourself in the lasting zone. Okay. So, talked about mindfulness, we talked about making a schedule, okay? But with that comes these other tips, okay? So, creating routines. So, that just means like doing lasting zone things at the same time each day of the week, okay? Like, for example, sleeping, going to bed, which I mentioned before, is if you go to bed at the same time every night, that's a great habit to build on because your body, again, gets used to that amount of sleep every night. Doing lasting zone things at the same time each day or week, so you don't have to think about it. Like that's kind of just a habit. It becomes more of a habit. So you can do your homework every night right after dinner, or you can play soccer every Saturday morning. You can visit your grandmother every Sunday morning. Okay, so when you start to build these things in your schedule that are just like the same every week, it just becomes easier to make it happen every time, right? Because it's a habit now. Okay, so that's why we talk about creating routines and the importance. Okay, give yourself some space. Okay, so when you have something important to work on, you can go somewhere that no one can bother you. If you know that you get distracted easily, you could make sure that that time that you spend on a specific thing is being done somewhere where you have your own space, where you can like turn off your phone and the internet so you can focus. So do the lasting zone things first, right? So the lasting zone things we talked about were those bigger tasks that you want to make sure that you accomplish. So you do it's like do your homework, you want to exercise. So when you feel yourself wanting to wait to do something in the lasting zone, make a list of bad things that will happen if you waste your time, right? Okay, it's like if I don't do my homework because I don't want to, if I don't do it, this is what's going to happen, right? Just think a little bit about that, right? I could spend the next 2 more hours in video games, but that means that my homework's not going to get done, and that means that tomorrow is going to be a harder day for me at school because I'm not going to understand the material. Then there's that take breaks. So people work best when they take breaks like every 90 to 120 minutes. So it's an hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay. So if you focus for 90 to 20 minutes and then take a 10-minute break, this way you will actually accomplish more than working out 4 hours straight. Okay. So you work for an hour and a half to 2 hours and then you take 10 minutes. Get a snack, take a walk, do something relaxing. Okay. So taking breaks allows you to check in with yourself. So if it's like, what am I feeling? And why am I feeling this way? Okay. So it helps us understand ourselves better. And we ultimately understand our habits better and how they are serving us. Okay. So when you take those breaks, allow you to be more mindful about how you're feeling in that moment. Also, it's important to make time for fun. Okay. So again, no one can stay in the lasting zone all the time. Okay. So it's important to make time for those instant zone activities that you really enjoy. But again, if you're doing those lasting zone things first, it'll open up that space for you. If you're only doing stuff in the instant zone, it's going to be harder to fit in those things, those tasks that you really need to accomplish. Okay. So we're going to watch a quick video about Maui and his experience.
In this lesson, you learned about the instant zone and the lasting zone. The instant zone's over here, right? You put things in it, you don't get anything back, but it feels good in the short term. Lasting zone's over here. You put things in, it's not always flashy, but it builds up over time, doesn't it? You do that homework, you volunteer, take care of your body. That makes you stronger and better. A good way to think about it is what it takes to boil some water. When you're first boiling some water, you put it on the stove, and at first it doesn't seem like anything's happening. It's just 80 degrees, 100 degrees, 150 degrees. It hasn't reached the boiling point yet. The boiling point is 212 degrees. That's when water boils, vapors rise. And success is the same way. When you're working in the lasting zone, at first it doesn't look like you're actually doing anything. You might be like, oh, I turned in my homework, I'm trying hard in sports, and like, I don't notice any change. Well, that's the water's going up, the heat's going up. You're getting up to 130 degrees, 140 degrees. You just can't see it yet. And you keep staying in the lasting zone. You keep working, you keep working, you keep working. All of a sudden, you're gonna look at yourself like me when I was in my senior year. And I said, wow, I can't believe I got all these scholarships. I can't believe all these things happened because I stayed in the lasting zone. The same is going to be true for you. When you stay in that lasting zone over time, you will do incredible things.
Okay. So now you have a little bit a few more tips, okay? Things that you could do that will help you on your journey to create habits that will stay in the lasting zone, that will serve you in the long term. Okay, so when you think of creating routines, giving yourself space, doing lasting zone things first, taking breaks, and making time for fun, what does that look like to you? Okay, so do you know people who always have a crisis that are like, help, I need to ride to school because I missed my bus, or help, I didn't do the homework, so now I need to copy yours in the bathroom before we go. Like no matter what the situation, there's always a sense of panic and urgency. Okay, like I know people like that. I know a lot of people like that. Okay, so if you follow your lasting zone plan, you could avoid the stress that comes along with the sense of urgency of doing all these things and fitting everything in and not having enough time. And it also help you to accomplish more. So what I want you to do today is to write in your journals or just have a discussion. It's up to the teacher. Open up the discussion about what will you do differently. Okay, so when you again think of these little tips, maybe you don't have much of a routine. Maybe you do your homework whenever time opens up, okay? But maybe something that you can do to make things go a little smoothly each week is to schedule time for the homework every day. So you do it right when you get home, and then after that, it's like freedom. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so what can you do? What can you do differently in your life to ensure that you're spending more time in the lasting zone? Okay, so just think of something. If you want to share it out, share it out. Hope you all have a great day. I'll see you next time.